Ooh.
Guys ready?
That's the way to start it right there.
Oh, yeah. Sponsored by Monster.
You wish. Welcome back, everybody, to the Since 96 podcast.
We got a good one for you today.
A great one.
Tell them what's on the docket, Sam.
All right. We got a few different segments for you guys. Should I just list them off? Okay. We got some internet questions prepared by Tyson. We have the Doghouse segment, a fan favorite, probably.
Recurring segment on the show.
We have Just the Tip, where we go over life tips, shortcuts, hacks to get further in life. Gun to your head, where we stop messing around with all this nonsense of, oh, I kind of like this, I kind of like that, and we get right down to it. And then the notable 96ers, which I don't actually know what that one is. What is that one?
Yeah. It's like two things. So in the future, when we have millions of followers who are watching this, we can give shout outs to our fan base, the 96ers.
Only if they're verified born in 1996.
We make our rules.
It'd be a very niche.
Yeah. And I was thinking we could also just I don't know, we could bring up famous people who were born in 96. And just talk about them. I don't know.
I love it.
Soon to be us. Before this person was famous, they were doing that. Just like before we were famous podcasters, we were 9-to-5ers.
Oof. All right, let's get into some internet questions.
Questions from the internet. Browsing Reddit looking for the best questions on Ask Reddit. So question number 1 from Ask Reddit that I liked a lot. So this one's more of a serious one. So what is the lie you tell yourself most often?
Why you look at me?
Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Dude, you're the liar.
Yeah, true.
If you haven't seen episode 1, tune into that one and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Call.
It doesn't have to be like a deep, dark lie. It can be like just a small white lie that you tell yourself to make yourself feel better or something.
I would probably say the lie that I tell myself most often is that I'm a hard worker. And it's not that true. I feel like growing up, your mom always says that when she's describing you, oh, you're just such a hard worker, or she tells her friends that or whatever. And as I got older, I was like, yeah, it's just not true. Very few people in the world are actually hard workers. I have a lot of free time and I could be doing so much more with that free time, but I don't. I just love Netflix shows and stuff. But in my head, I'm like, oh, I do door-to-door sales. That's hard. Or I'm trying to start a photography business. That's hard. But it's I could be doing a lot more. That would be mine.
Yeah, mine is that I'm not special. Dude, I just tell myself, dude, I'm special, because of this or that. I played volleyball in college at the Division I level. There's been a lot of Division I athletes throughout time. There's been a lot of successful salespeople. There's been so many people who've done way more than I have, more consistently. I am nothing in the universe of achievement and stuff. And I think all of us go through that. We just tell ourselves, oh, I'm different. You're not special.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one because I feel like I've told myself that forever.
Yeah.
I'm different. I'm special. Some people people don't get it. I get it. And then you guys I'm almost 30. I haven't done anything.
Dude, I feel like that's part of the reason why we're making this podcast is because anyone can do it. Anyone can pick up a camera and record some stuff with their friends. And all these people out there, they're not special. They just did it.
Why not us?
Why not? Why not you? Why not you?
Just pointing.
Yeah.
You. All right, Tyson.
My lie. Dang, this is humbling. But my lie is I think I'm a lot smarter than I am, for sure. Definitely got that a lot. The first job I worked, I would think I like came up with something like super clever for work, and like I would talk to coworkers about it and everything. And then I had a coworker that was really close to me that actually was really smart, and then I'd be in a conversation with him, and like I would immediately be like, "Oh, that's what intelligence looks like." Like that's someone that actually thinks things all the way through, you know? And so that's now that I'm not at that company, I'm like always thinking I'm way smarter than I really am. But I just need a good conversation with that coworker to put me back in my place.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I feel like we just outed all of ourselves. We're not special. We don't work hard. We're not smart. But watch us anyways.
But please keep listening. Yeah, way to start off on a drag. No, that was awesome. That's
We
great.
may suck, but we're funny.
Yeah, but I'm funny.
I hope.
You know, you get some raw truth from us.
Yeah, for real.
So that was question 1.
Yeah.
That's the more serious question. The second one is going to be a little bit more fun, kind of just more speculative stuff. Would you rather spend time floating alone in space or floating alone at sea?
Space.
Dude, space.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's no way I'm drowning or getting attacked by a shark. Like,
So I think this question is preference with like, you're going to survive for an extended period of time. Whether you're in a spaceship or on a sailboat, you have provisions on both, and you're going to be on there, but you're going to be alone. And there's not going to be any land or anything, but you're going to be out in the vastness of either the ocean or space.
I need time frames. How long are we talking? You tell us.
The question didn't come with time frames.
Just make one up.
Indefinite, you don't know how long it's going to be, but you're going to be out there.
By yourself, you have provisions, you're taken care of.
So it could be the extension of your life, or it could be a few months, but either one.
I'm picking space.
But you said space pretty quick.
Yeah. Probably because I've been out drifting in the middle of the ocean, just on like boats and stuff. And like with people, but every now and then you just go out on the deck and you're just there by yourself. And I feel like I can imagine what that's like. I can't imagine what being in space would be like. But I feel like that would be just super dope.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like floating in the ocean. Yeah, you could like probably see stars and like really cool stuff at night. But during the day, it's just like water, sun, and that's it. You know? But if you're floating in space, you're just like in the cosmos and just like that would pass the time a lot quicker. And I feel like it would be better that you don't have this time frame of like the sun comes up, the sun goes down. It feels like it would last a lot longer. Where if you were floating through space and it was indefinite, it would just like the days would pass, I think, faster because you'd have no reference of time.
That's a good point. That would be really weird. You just always kind of see the sun, I guess. And
There was a lady that was in a cave, and she wanted to see if she could last like, I can't remember how long she was going to last in there. I'm just going to say 100 days, but in a cave where there's no light, and she wanted to see how long she could last alone in there. And after the time frame had passed, they went in to get her, and she's like, "I'm not done yet. What are you guys doing? Like, it's only been a month." Like, it only feels like it's been a month, but she had been in there for like over 100 days or something.
I believe that because it's always like when you tell yourself like I'm going to do 20 push-ups, like 18, 19, and 20 are so hard. But if you would have told yourself I'm going to do 25, you probably would have been able to keep going. But like when you put a limit on it and you're like working up to that limit, it gets difficult at the end. Where if you don't have like a limit, I feel like you could do more.
they've done some tests on this. We could look it up later, but on if you tell someone, if you have them do a physical test twice and they don't count, but then you count for them, like let's say push-ups. Let's say Sam, it's like, all right, just do as many push-ups as you can, and he hits 40 push-ups. And then you have him do it again like the next day. If you told him, hey, you hit 50 push-ups, then there's like a really high likelihood that he's going to hit 50, because in his mind, he's like, oh, I did that yesterday, so I should be able to do it today. But then the reverse is true. If you tell him, okay, yesterday you did 30 push-ups, so see how many you can do today. Like, he probably won't be able to do 40.
Dang.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's wild.
They've done tests on that.
It's all mental. Life is
Yeah.
just mental.
The barriers in your mind. I had a little bit more time to think about this question, though. And if you think about it, we're currently just floating through space on the rock.
Tyson's trying to get all deep on
Gosh,
us.
dang it, Tyson.
But I'd rather float, and I also have like a fantasy of wanting to sail the world and stuff. That's like,
Tyson's our water boy.
Yeah,
You know,
bro.
he's-
Sail the world. Shoot me.
yeah, that'd be really cool to be able to float alone. And I feel like there's actually more that would go on at sea, like whales you would see, fish, and like the possibility just to see different things. Versus in space, it's so vast, and you're like, maybe see some asteroids, or see your homies, the aliens.
Freaking aliens, yeah.
Elon's satellites just like cruising around.
The Tesla car that's out there somewhere. You're just
Yeah.
like, what the freak?
You guys ready for question number 3, or do you want to?
As a follow-up question, how long do you think you could last, let's say at sea? Because it's hard for us to comprehend space, but at sea, you have all the provisions you could want, but you're not going to see land for forever.
Do you have books and or writing material like you can write? Because I feel like if I had something I could journal in or something, I could last way longer than if I'm just like,
Keep your sanity in check. Let's say no. No books, no paper. You just have food, pretty much.
I don't know. You ever watched Alone?
The TV show?
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
It always surprises me how long people don't make it. Like,
Have you seen the vegans on those shows?
oh no.
No, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
They don't do very well.
Don't have enough protein in them.
Yeah.
I couldn't last very long. I thrive on social interaction, so I would go crazy pretty quick, I feel like.
Like a couple days, a week.
Yeah, a month.
Think you could do a month?
If I had all the provisions and stuff, yeah. Just get really jacked. Just
Good.
do a lot of push-ups and stuff.
So what's crazy is like solitary confinement, how that drives people nuts, you know? Even though they have food taken care of, they're just sitting in a cell, a block.
I feel like a part of that is that they're in a cell too. Because if I was at least on a boat and out in like open water,
Swimming.
I feel like I'd last a little bit longer just because I'm in nature. But like to be in like with no sunlight too, that is a huge factor.
For me, I think I could go a month. I could probably do a month then, floating around there, out there.
Yeah, you get to see sunsets, like you said, see some wildlife, go swimming. But then after a while, you'd be like,
Do you have a button you can push that takes you back, or is it like you're gonna kill yourself after a month?
I didn't think about that.
That's a huge difference too. Like if you have the option to get out of this situation, as soon as it gets hard, then you can like get out. But if you don't have the option, how long could you actually make it before you're like, this is pointless, why am I alive?
I see. Yeah, no. If you're just floating out there, you're waiting for a boat to come by.
then,
Waiting for a boat to come by.
dude, your body goes into survival mode. And I feel like you can do some crazy stuff in survival mode.
Yeah.
There's a movie, I can't remember what it's called, but the girl and a guy, they're like in a relationship, they go sailing, there's a storm, he dies, but she like imagines that he survives. Like her brain goes into survival mode and like makes up her husband, and they stay on the boat and like they survive, but then she gets saved and he's not there. It was all like
It's a crazy twist.
Dang.
Because the whole time you think he's alive.
I feel like that would have been a sick movie to watch, but now I know the premise.
Honestly, though, no, dude. That movie, I don't remember what it's called, but it's kind of like the only cool part is like the twist
The very
ending.
end.
The whole movie, you're like, why am I watching this? This is so dumb. And then you're like, he was dead the whole time. And then you're like, oh, okay, that was good. But there's 2 hours of my life I can't get back.
It's like The Sixth Sense. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
You're like,
I
what am
hadn't seen that until
watching?
like probably 3 or 4 years ago,
Mm.
and it had never been spoiled for me. So I'm
What?
sitting there, I'm like, what? He's dead. But yeah, it was a sick ending. I can only imagine that
Yeah,
that movie would be
same
similar.
vibe.
But I think that's what would happen eventually. Like you'd start to play these mental games and like something breaks and your mind goes into survival mode to keep you alive.
I like that question because I like Castaway, that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, start talking to a beach ball or
Wilson.
volleyball.
Volleyball.
Freaking Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I love that one. Next,
Yeah,
let's
that was a
go.
Great question.
Question number 3. So this is a more fun one. If you had to spend the rest of your life as a TV character, who would you be? I can go first. If you guys want time?
Yeah, you go for it. Yeah. That's hard.
Mine easily would be Cody Maverick on Surf's Up.
Oh my
A
gosh.
penguin.
Massive waves. He's a penguin, and at the end of the movie, because he's got life figured out, he's got a hot girlfriend, awesome community, lives on an island, has made it, and like that little like cove that they surf in. Oh my gosh! Like I think about that cove all the time when I'm surfing. So to be Cody Maverick, the penguin in Surf's Up, is my dream.
It's called a penguin hot.
Tyson's leaving his wife and child.
Yeah, for that penguin, bro. What the freak? Dang. You can go first
Well,
if you have one.
I didn't even think of animated movies. Now I'm like, shoot.
There's
So here's my moral dilemma. I was for whatever reason, my mind jumped straight to Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. He's just this mega player. He's just really funny. He wears these suits all the time. Yeah, the PJ suits. Suit up. That's not who I picked. That's just the first one that came to mind for some
That's
reason.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah, who's a rich person with a rad life?
There's a lot of rich people in movies out there, but they usually have like gnarly difficulties. Like Batman.
I was thinking that, but like his parents got shot. He's got some major trauma. Gotham sucks.
You could be on the other side. You could be like Forrest Gump, just be like super happy and content, but just like
Just mentally challenged.
That's kind of a nice place to be, though.
yeah, honestly.
Hey. Yeah, ignorant and bliss. Ignorance is bliss.
Did you say from a TV show or a movie?
Or life as a TV character, but I think that it is implied, like, and
Just whatever.
A fictional character.
Hmm.
There's so many.
I know.
For sake of not taking forever, I'll just say Iron Man. I feel like he's got not a ton of trauma. He's like gets to be kind of arrogant and do whatever he wants. He's also super rich, but he's also like at the core of everything, like a super good dude, and he's just trying to like save the world.
he's like the opposite of Forrest Gump. He's crazy intelligent.
Yeah, he's just like super smart, also kind of a playboy, also super rich, and yeah, just gets to build and create cool things, which I feel like would be very fulfilling.
As soon as you said Iron Man and it opened up the Marvel floodgates for me,
Oh boy.
just immediately thought Thor. Dude, just freaking a yacked demigod.
Fat Thor?
Hey, you know, we go through our cycles,
Ups and downs.
ups and downs.
Ups
I'll
and-
take it. That's me right now, honestly.
It's fat Thor.
Depends on the time of year.
Yeah, that's right, dude. Sometimes yacked, sometimes crazy obese.
That'd be cool.
That's awesome. That's a great question. That's so hard.
Iron Man was a very popular one on the Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear some of the public's answers. What were people saying?
No one said Cody Maverick. That I didn't go that deep into the thread. Batman was on there, and just because people love Batman, like always Batman. But his life kind of sucks.
Yeah, dude. Batman would not be.
There's a lot of characters on there that I didn't know. Someone said Kramer from Seinfeld. Have you ever watched Seinfeld?
Not really, no.
Yeah, me neither.
Kramer is like a wild character that's just always doing whatever the heck he wants. Those are the only ones that I remember on the top of my head.
Pretty cool to be like Michael Scott, Jim Halpert.
I was thinking, my
you
first
know.
thought was like The Office. But then, like, you know what's sad is I'm like, I feel like that's what I'm living right now. I have a job that I don't like very much. I just am super sarcastic and just like skating through life, wondering when does it get better. That's what Jeff is. That's what Jim is.
Super underpaid.
Super underpaid. Super like appreciated, but nothing, like no promotions in sight. Have like a great home life. Basically just living as Jim Halpert right now.
Oh, Jim, not Michael.
Yeah, not Michael. Minus the office. That's right. My office is the doors. That's a great one. That's a good question.
That's funny.
Those are all three of my questions. So what lie do you tell yourself most often? And it sounds like we're all lying to keep our egos up.
You got to.
Gotta stay positive out there.
Yeah. Serious.
What lies will you continue telling yourself?
Oh God.
I will continue telling myself I'm special.
Yeah.
Honestly, have you ever heard the phrase "you're always winning"? From a book called "Un-F Yourself." So it's like you're always winning. So whatever you're telling yourself is what you end up doing. Like someone that says like, "Man, I can never stay in a relationship," subconsciously is always like degrading their own relationships and it's like destroying it. But if you tell yourself like, no, I'm the kind of person that like someone wants to date and eventually marry and have a family with, you'll start to pick up on the things that people that are in those situations, what they do. They spend more time with their family. They do little things to be with their family, and you'll like end up developing those traits on a subconscious level and become that person. But you're always winning in the sense of like whatever you're believing in that moment, you're gonna reflect that.
I think, therefore I am. Who
Yeah.
said that? Socrates. Aristotle. I don't know. One of the philosophers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. One of those.
No, my mental strength coach in college, he had a similar thing. He said our brain doesn't comprehend negatives. So he would always compare it to like a free throw. And if you're standing at the line and you're just thinking, don't miss, don't miss, don't miss, you're actually thinking miss. Like that's what you're focused on instead of making it or like the skill.
The word miss is in there.
And so our brain, it doesn't know what don't means. It knows what miss means. And so same thing, Sam just doesn't get it.
I'm like, I don't know if I
Just say, make the shot.
Just focus on your mechanics, like the systems, instead of the outcomes. I've also heard you attract what you become. It's like you're saying, if you want to attract a patient person, you should try to become patient yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
Mac asked me before this, she's like, do you have a Doghouse moment? I'm like,
You're like, oh gosh.
I'm like, well, you would know better than I would.
Yeah, you tell me.
And then yesterday was her birthday. She said, well, yesterday you were perfect, so that's all I have in my mind. It's like, well, I'm definitely not going to bring up a Doghouse moment now.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Do we want to do just the tip? Or are we doing Doghouse?
I'll have tips.
I do.
Yeah, I have a tip.
Okay.
Dude, I got lots of tips.
Do a tip about how to get 3% body fat. What are you at? What body fat are you at?
Last time I checked, I was like 7.5.
Probably at like 30.
Biggest tip is get some new genetics.
Ooh, ouch.
No.
How much is those?
But
We'll pay it.
honestly, like, I'm comfortable being below 10%. Like, that's just,
Always like that? Yeah, were you always like that?
I've always been on the skinnier end. It takes me forever to put on muscle, though. Like, it's taken me years to get any sort of, like, muscle definition. But it gets there.
That's crazy, dude. Can you imagine genetically just being like, yeah, I just sit at under 10%?
No.
That's bogus. Do you know what you're at?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I'm not even anywhere
I'd guess
close.
I'd guess I'm around 11
What the
or 12.
I did that. I did like a bod pod scan. I can't remember what I'm at, but I'm not close to 10. I don't know what it is, but it's not that close. Y'all are crazy.
When I checked, too, it was right before the CrossFit Open. You know what the CrossFit Open is. You don't know what it is.
You've told me a little bit about it, but
Yeah, and so my like cardiovascular metabolic training was up, and so I think my fat percentage was probably a percentage or two lower than it normally is. I probably normally sit around like 8 or 9.
Do you do like a DEXA scan, bod pod?
It was feet and hands, and I was in my undies
Nice.
in the morning.
There's so many different ways to test it, and they all are like a little off. But if you do the same one and you kind of keep checking it that way, it's like, pretty reliable, at least for looking at trends.
The weirdest thing about my scan that the guy who did the scan for me said is that my weight like of muscles on either side of me, because it like shows you the split, was perfectly balanced. Like
It's just like, so
I'm perfect.
I'm perfect.
Yeah.
I don't have to work for any of this. I just
This is some BS,
it
dude.
made me think that it wasn't accurate because I can see in the mirror and I can see that like my left arm is smaller than my right. Like if you can see it, it's got to be way off. So I think that machine must have been off a bit.
This is fitness goals. You guys have any? Sam?
Look like a Greek god. Look like Tyson. That's about it. Like literally every guy in the entire world. Lose fat, gain muscle.
Yeah. Don't hate the player.
Yeah.
Hate the game.
Yeah.
I don't really know what my fitness goals are. I need to make some. Because I did want to put on muscle and get bigger. Try to get up to like 180. And like I was on a nutrition plan and everything when I came out here. And I'd gone from 160 to 170. And then moving out here, food is so expensive in Hawaii that I'm back down to 160. Because I was eating like 4 meals a day and getting all my macros and everything, but now I'm back to 3 meals a day. And I have no idea where my macros are at. So
Can't afford to bulk in Hawaii.
I afford to like dirty bulk
Amen, dude.
ramen.
Jeez. What? Yeah. How much does everyone weigh right now? You're at 160?
Probably around. I haven't weighed myself in a little bit.
It's been in a week or two but I'm probably like 218 now.
I'm at like 193 last time I weighed, which was like a week ago.
Isn't it crazy how much your height changes it?
Yes.
Because like, if you just think about the muscles themselves, like in our legs, my legs are probably a couple inches longer than yours. So then that just equates to however much weight.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like 80 pounds heavier than Tyson. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
And your calves are like the size of my head. So
True. You're sitting on tree trunks, bro.
boulders for calves, dude. Those things are massive.
I know. Look at our legs compared. Look at my leg compared to yours. Like, yeah, it doesn't. People don't care about this.
When we were walking in, though, I was like walking behind him and I was looking down. I was just like, oh my gosh. Just watching him walk and just seeing them flex, I was like, jeez.
Yeah, dude. I got little chicken legs. That's why I can only squat as much as I can bench, basically.
For real.
My squat and my bench are like the exact same. Yeah, it's bad. What's your tip?
My tip?
Yeah.
Are we getting into just the tip?
Oh, I thought we were on it. I was asking Tyson how to get down to body fat, but I guess we didn't finish that.
Would be to lie to yourself that you're the kind of person that doesn't eat sugar. You're just the kind of person that, like, you sit down and you choose the healthier option, no matter what.
It doesn't come naturally to him. He just lies to himself.
Constantly lying to myself that I'm the kind of person that wakes up at 5 a.m. and likes to work out. And it's the first lie I tell myself in the morning.
That's revolutionary, honestly. I mean, it's not, but that's like, I see that even with what you just said in the very beginning, where I was like, how do I get less than 10% body fat? And you were like, oh, I'm always, that's just me. And I'm like, yeah, is that just you? Or are you just lying and just saying,
yeah.
I am that person? That's crazy. Dang.
It's totally true, though. If you tell yourself, okay, honestly, all right, so growing up, I was always known for being able to eat a lot. Like, I don't know. That's just what people told me. So in turn, that's what I would kind of tell people and believed, even all the way through college. Like we had a poll on our team on like who eats the most, and everyone voted me. And yeah, we'd go to In-N-Out and I'd get 2 double doubles, 2 fries, 2 shakes, just because I'm known for that. And then I'd be with friends, and they knew I was the one who would always eat a lot. So then they wouldn't finish their meal, and they'd be like, "Here, Alex, eat this." I'm like, "Yeah, go." I think I just became it. And then I don't know when I got pretty fat, like a few months ago. Honestly, I got up to like 243 or something, like over 20 pounds heavier than what I'm at right now.
It's crazy.
And dude, honestly, I was just sitting there thinking like, I don't need to eat a full freaking pizza every single time I want pizza. You know?
You could take on a whole pizza.
Oh, since I was like 13.
Oh my gosh.
So my whole family, there's 5 of us kids and my parents. And when we would get Little Caesars, my mom would just get like 5 or 6 pizzas. She would just hand us each a box. So I'd just be sitting there as like a 13-year-old, open my box up, eat my entire pizza, and just be chilling.
Pounding a pizza.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
Which actually goes into my tip,
Please.
which is another kind of a fitness one, but you're probably not eating enough protein. And there's never been a time in history where there's like so many readily available carbs at our disposal. And that's like what all snacks are. Like every snack is just carbs.
Dude.
Yeah.
Every single snack. Whenever I'm like, I don't want to cook anything, I'm going to just go see what's like in the pantry. And I just like scan. I'm like, this is just carbs.
You just think what's quick, what's easy, always carbs. And the thing about carbs is you can eat 1 million of them and it won't even fill you up. But if you actually hit your protein intake, like there's no way you're going to overeat.
It's really hard to overeat if you're getting the right amount of protein.
Yeah. If you try to get a gram of protein per pound of body weight, for me, that's over 200 grams. That's a lot of freaking protein. If I'm slamming down 50 grams of protein at each meal, like I am stuffed. Like even for me, like I cannot eat more. And I've eaten, full pizzas at a time just because it's mostly carbs, you know?
Totally, dude. Because you've told me to eat like a more protein, and I feel like I've tried to. There were some days where I was trying to hit 180, and I've slacked off a little bit. But the days where I'm trying to hit 180 grams of protein, I am like force feeding myself by the end of the day. You know, like I want to die. It's so much protein,
dude. When I was tracking it, I was tracking macros and calories. On the days where I went ham on protein, my calorie intake was actually a little lower. So my protein was like over 200 grams. My calories were less than I would normally eat. And I felt just so full. Like I could not eat more. And then I started like losing weight because of that. Good weight.
So Costco chicken bake. You know how much protein's in that?
A lot?
61 grams.
Dang.
I gotta start getting the chicken bakes. There's actually a decent amount of protein in their pizza. Believe it or not. Like for pizza. Let's preface that.
What kind of pizza?
The pepperoni.
Just pepperoni?
Yeah.
34 grams?
Isn't that crazy? Just in a slice, right? Or no? Is that a full pizza?
One slice contains. Here's the offset though. Yeah. Costco slice pepperoni pizza, one slice contains 68 grams of total carbs, 65 net carb. I don't know what the difference is there. 24 fat, 34 protein. So the carb to protein ratio there is no bueno. It's kind of like oatmeal. Oatmeal surprisingly has a lot of protein, but the carb to protein ratio is super off. Yeah. But the chicken bake wasn't nearly as bad. I think it was like 78 carbs, but 61 grams of protein. So it's better, but still a lot of carbs in it.
Yeah. No more pepperoni pizzas. Chicken bakes and hot dogs.
No, I'm doing pizzas and chicken bakes all day long.
Golly. My just the tip moment, or just the tip segment.
Yeah, just give us the tip, nothing more.
Yeah, just the tip. For my co-stars aren't able to relate to this. As I'm sitting here, I realize I really got screwed genetic-wise. So, it's about hair loss. Yeah, so I have two brothers that are bald. You guys suck. Just kidding. And I'm trying to keep my hair forever. And so I've done extensive research in how to, just like little tips on how to keep your hair and make it healthier and last longer. And so my little tip is to stop washing your hair.
Want to know something really funny? You told me this like 2-3 weeks ago. I haven't washed my hair since.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
So
It's looking good. It's looking great. Is there anything in it, like product-wise?
yeah, a little bit of pomade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another thing, pomade-wise, if you're like putting a bunch of crap in your hair, which I do too, but if you put a bunch of crap in your hair and you're like, oh, I need to wash it because I got to get all this stuff out of my hair, switch over to a water-based pomade or something like that. Yeah, it comes out way easier, so it doesn't stay as oily. But the shampoo strips your hair of like natural oils. So my hair's not great these days, but it's actually way better than it was like 3-4 years ago. I was getting to like, it was bad. And so I was doing a bunch of research, and I do a bunch of stuff, but the number one tip is to stop washing and conditioning your hair. Just get a little scrubber and just scrub your scalp in the shower. Stimulates the hair, makes the follicles stronger. Shampoo is a scam.
A lot of products are a scam.
Straight up.
Like, especially hygiene stuff. Like even toothpaste. Like brushing your teeth is definitely important, but the actual toothpaste doesn't do too much for you.
Use mouthwash.
Yeah, what is?
But you should use toothpaste.
Yeah, I was like, yo, what?
It's just like freshens your breath, whitens your teeth. But yeah, what else does it do?
Really, you're just trying to get the sugars and stuff off your teeth that are just sitting there. Because if they stay on there, it's going to rot your teeth. Just brushing them is going to do that, brushing and flossing. Yeah, everything else, dude.
Yeah, dang, took on a dental school.
Everything else is just a cash grab.
Interesting.
But yeah, dude, in college, I went over a month without washing my hair. I think I probably read a random like Reddit thing that said, don't wash your hair or something. Dude, the first week, my hair was so gross. Super oily, and it smelled. And that's when I was working out a couple times a day, like for practices and stuff. It was gnarly. And then after that, it got less oily and like way more manageable. I would never put product in it. It was like just, you know when you shower and you shampoo your hair just flops down? And like it takes putting stuff in it or getting oily to be able to like shape it. It was always kind of like the perfect, wasn't too oily, but it was oily enough to like do stuff with it.
100%.
So yeah.
So you had to put less stuff in it. Yeah, it's like it's such a good cycle where like you're not washing it, so it's always a little bit oily, so you can style it a little bit better. You don't have to put a bunch of stuff in it. Because yeah, it's crazy. You like wash it, it gets super flat and like nothing, or like can't do anything. And you put all this crap in it and you're spraying it with hairspray to make it stay. It's just ridiculous. It's a vicious cycle.
Isn't that stupid? Our hair gets oily, so we wash all the oil out, and then we put more oil
Put
back
oil in.
What?
No, it's insane.
It's like face washes and stuff. You wash all the oil off your face, and then you put these moisturizers or coconut oil.
And the oil your body's producing. Yeah.
I don't wash my face. But also I haven't washed my hair in literal months. Like I literally cannot remember the last time I washed my hair. Literal months.
My one like stop to that would be if you have long hair. So I had the hair down to my shoulders, and I went a long time without washing it, and that got nasty and never got out of it. No matter how much, like, because it's so long, you just trap so much of it. It's just like, if you got long hair, you should probably wash that every once in a while.
Like once a month is fine.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't relate with the long hair thing. Sam can.
My hair was decently long, not as long as yours, but it was like down to like chin length maybe. And same thing, I would just get it wet and I would just scrub it a ton in the shower. I would wash it more frequently than I do now. When my hair was long, I'd probably wash it more than I do now, but still not as much. But it wasn't as long as yours. But same thing, I would scrub it in the shower and just let it like air dry, whatever. I also have like some wave to my hair, and my hair would get a lot more curly and wavy when I wouldn't wash it. So that was also and I would just jump in the ocean, which would help a lot.
Yeah, I think it would have helped if I lived in Hawaii, honestly. As at the time I was like in Utah. Yeah, not good.
Yeah, too dry up there.
And I have really straight hair. Like naturally it's just like perfectly straight. And so it doesn't hide anything. So if it's a little oily, it just shows.
You can tell. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, I actually had to start washing my hair or do something because I started getting like the skin flakes. Like, what's it called?
Oh, like dandruff.
Yeah, I had dandruff like crazy in Utah.
Need the scrubber.
But everything's so dry out there. I did terrible in Utah. My skin, my scalp, like everything.
Hawaii's a glow up for sure.
Oh, yeah.
All of our tips.
Yeah.
Did you like just our tips?
Stop that. All right, gun to your head. The reason I called it gun to your head is because I think it's interesting, like boil things down to like if you had to pick, like something like what's your favorite song? Like that's so hard. You're like favorite song. There's like this one if it was like a slow song or like an acoustic song or
Different songs for different situations.
this one's nostalgic for me and this one I play in the car constantly right now. But it's like I don't care. Gun to your head. You tell me what's your favorite song.
Okay.
That says a lot about you, yeah? Like you have to pick. I don't know. I think it's cool. Let's do favorite movie. Who wants to go first?
Remember the Titans.
Oh,
Gun to my head right now.
You
That's it.
douchebag.
Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah, what the F?
No way.
We're gonna say Remember the Titans?
Yeah.
There's a million movies out there.
Bro,
There's no way
we
you're
were
gonna
at the
say that.
beach like 2 months ago and Brody asked me, what's your favorite movie? And I said, Remember the Titans. And you were right there.
Oh, you think I'm using a moment from 2 months ago?
Gosh,
It was in his subconscious.
F me, dude. Tell me why you love that movie.
You can say the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, there needs to be diversity. All right.
Dude.
I'll be the only diverse one.
Yeah, gosh dang it. All right, you go. Tell
No,
me.
that was just
Alex was our diverse one for the last one. So I'll be it for this one.
the diverse person. No, dude, such a inspiring like story. And plus, our family was like a football family growing up, playing football and watching football, and so then that movie just encompassed like everything.
Dang, dude.
Just a good movie, you know.
Gosh.
To your head, you're gonna just choose the same one?
Yeah, I have to choose the same one, dude. And what's so funny is like I don't even have the justification that Alex does. Bro, don't you do that. This is ridiculous.
Sam doesn't know what a football is.
I
Do you know how to throw a
but
football?
I can throw a football friggin' over the mountains.
How far do you think you can throw a football?
40 yards.
I don't believe you.
What? 50 yards. No, that's far. 40 yards.
Let's test it.
Yeah.
Let's test it.
Uh,
How far do you think you can throw?
So I'm strong for like my size, but I can't throw. Like the mechanics of it, I've never been good at throwing. And maybe it's a lie I've been taught as a kid, but I like suck.
how far can you throw a football?
Farther than you?
Dude,
At least 50.
All right, to be continued outside.
I'm down.
We'll tell you the results.
We have a football in the
next week.
garage. I'm down. We'll go
Yeah,
out to
we
a
have one
friggin'
too.
park. I don't know how to measure.
No, we'll just go to the football field. Kahuku.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to get on there, but.
But for a non-football player,
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, that's what's weird. Is it like, I don't know why I like that movie so much. It's because I never played football in my life. My parents are not sports people, so we never watched sports growing up. There's like a huge undertone of like racial equality, and it's not like.
As we've learned last week, Sam is a racist.
I'm
He
not,
really likes the segregation between the whites and blacks. in
not
that
true,
movie.
dude.
he hated how it ended.
Yeah. They're all getting along. I was like, what is this? No, it's
Gets off to a rough start. Oh boy, let's
Yeah.
go.
get him. And then they start liking each other. Like, what is this? I should say, I like the first half of the movie where they're at opposing ends. No, dude, I just love that movie. It's just so sick. Yeah, I don't really have like a super reason to, but I just liked it forever. It was like the last movie I watched before I went on a mission.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like the night before, and I was like, one final movie. Remember the Titans. I don't know. I just like that movie.
My movie. Tenet.
No way.
What?
I don't believe you.
If you were to ask me,
By far one of my favorite movies of all time.
bro, you could ask, gun to my head, I would die if you said, tell me the plot of Tenet. I would be shot in the head. I could not tell you I don't remember anything that happened in that movie.
I've watched it so many times. I have the soundtrack. I listened to the soundtrack.
That soundtrack was only 3 times the volume of the actual audio in the movie. I remember sitting there in the theater, and it was so loud, I couldn't understand a single word anyone was saying. I was like, dude. And it was the first movie, like, out of COVID. And so, like, big expectations there. And, yeah, let down.
Let down.
Dude, that was a total flop.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
That was a huge flop.
Wait, isn't that Denzel Washington's son?
It is.
Whoa, and
Dude,
we
that's
had
why-
Denzel Washington in our favorite movies. What a legend!
We're Tyson's daddy.
Oh my goodness, what
Dude.
a
Here's what happened.
legacy!
They were waiting to see how Tenet did, to see if, like, all these other productions should release their movies. Tenet absolutely flopped. And then all these other movies pushed their date way back because they're like, oh, crap.
Is that just because people weren't ready to go to the theaters and watch it?
No, because it did terrible.
Dang, dude, coming at him. I don't know. The first time I saw Tenet was at a drive-in theater, and our sound in our car wasn't working right, so I really couldn't hear anything. So imagine watching Tenet with no sound.
No, imagine watching Tenet with the sound. You can't hear anything they're saying. Honestly,
Oh.
the movie is all right. I'm an easy grader when it comes to movies. I like almost everything.
Yeah.
And it was okay.
You know what? Speaking of Tenet, Robert Pattinson is in that movie.
Yeah.
He did
For-
good.
I'd change my favorite movie, even though it's actually not true.
To
But
the Batman.
yeah, the new Batman. Oh my gosh. We don't know
Well, I
why.
didn't even finish it.
Really? Dude, you want to know why I say that? Is because I went in there. I went and saw it here with like a few buddies. And I went into it being like, this movie's going to suck. I hate DC so much. Every single movie by DC sucks.
It was its best. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
sure.
And it was like Robert Pattinson, and all I really knew him from was Twilight. So I was like, this is going to be awful. And I left that theater being like, holy shit, that was awesome.
Dude, Robert Pattinson has totally redefined himself as an actor.
Dude.
Honestly, it's not his fault. Like, Twilight did him
No,
dirty with the
100%.
white sparkles.
Oh gosh, Twilight was the biggest piece of crap. It's true. It also made him crazy famous at the time, so.
Would probably say yes too if I made that kind of money though.
Yeah, you would. Tyson would say yes to anything.
to that amount of money, I'd do anything. Yeah, dude. But the new Batman went freaking hard, and I think my expectations were so low, and it like blew him out of the water. Like it was so good.
As my mother-in-law says, keep your expectations low, and you'll never be let down.
It's actually great advice. My dad says that all the time, but he's also a crazy pessimist.
Yep. Same with my mother-in-law.
You know who I've heard that from? Do you guys know who Dennis Prager is?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, he has like a talk show. But I think that's his big thing, and my dad loves Dennis Prager. But that's his big thing, is like expectations for everything. Just have them low, and you'll just be happy through life. If you get your hopes up, you're only going to get disappointed.
There's some truth to that. I mean, you just said with the Batman,
Yeah.
like if your expectations were really high, would you have actually liked it as much as you?
Probably not. That's why I hate all the new Marvels, is because Marvel just went up and up and up and up, and it hit its peak, and now it's like every time you go in there, you're like, this is going to be like Avengers Endgame, and it's not. It's trash.
The newest Thor.
Actual garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and some of those later Marvel movies, it might have been like pretty good if you just saw that one. You didn't know anything about the Marvel universe. You're like, oh, this is a good movie. Because you have freaking Endgame and like,
I don't know if I didn't know anything about Marvel, and I watched, was it She-Hulk?
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah.
That was your first.
I would have been like, what am I watching?
Yeah, dude.
I knew to just not watch that.
Some absolute BS.
That was
The TV shows are like terrible, but the movies, they've always been so good at the movies. And then
Yeah.
those of you
Literally, as soon as Robert Downey Jr. left, they've all been trash. Like every single one. I love him.
as soon as they put him 6 feet under.
Yeah, dude. What a comeback that man had.
So should I try to keep the story short?
Just tell it normal. You know, like when someone's like, hey, I didn't prepare for my talk. Can you just get up there and talk a lot? Like, don't do that. But don't.
Dude, tell the best.
Yeah, tell it in the funny way.
Best advice I ever got in college from like an actual teacher was like, don't put fluff in your papers. It's like, I tell you, write a 5-page essay and you write 3 pages, but that's all you have to say. Just turn it in. Like, I don't want 2 pages of crap. I was like, okay.
Like, I only have half a page to say.
The rest of the semester, yeah, never more than 1 page.
You're like, I can fit this in 2 sentences.
No, but honestly, he's like, this is what I'm looking for, but if you can prove your point or whatever in this. So then I would do that almost every time. I was less than, and I never got docked for that.
He stood by his word. Because that's the thing that stops you from ever, actually listening to when they say stuff like that. You get it back and you get a C and you're like, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, turn in however much you want. Yeah, he docks you half a letter grade. Like, what the?
The case with most teachers. They want to be cool like that, but none of them actually stand their ground.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the school system is a joke. Right?
No, I don't believe in it.
Right on. Right on. All right. Let's jump into Doghouse. With the monkey again. Dang it, Tyson. All right.
The monkey house.
I'll go first because mine's pretty quick. So I just went and asked Jess 'cause I couldn't think of anything. And yeah, she reminded me, and it actually is like super true. This is pretty vague, but pretty much every time that I'm not stoked to do something, or in the moment we're like driving somewhere and I'm just like pretty quiet and I'm not telling her actively how excited I am, it lands me in the doghouse because she's like, what, are you not excited? Are you not stoked to be here? Because I can be like really energetic. And so when I'm just like chill, or if I'm not like, I don't really want to do that and we're going somewhere, she gets like super upset. And she'll be like, what the heck? Like, you don't want to go to the beach with me? And I'm like, no, I'm just chilling. I'm just vibing. But she likes me to be stoked about the things that she's stoked about. Rightfully so.
Makes sense.
Because that's a normal thing. But yeah, that lands me in the doghouse is when I'm not putting in effort to be excited about something.
My doghouse moment is actually I spent too much time editing this stupid podcast this last week. So we're all hot shots. We tell ourselves that we're good at stuff, and so naturally we just thought we were going to be really good at podcasting. Turns out we're not. So
super bad.
Knows firsthand because he was doing the edits.
Yeah. Turns out we messed up on pretty much anything that you can mess up on. We were shooting in all different frame rates, different shutter speeds. All the audio was messed up, the video clips, like the coloring. Yeah, pretty much everything that you could think of. And so when I told Mac, oh, it'll take me like 2 hours tops to do this. And then it was like at least that every single day. She was like, so how long are you going to be doing that for? And when she starts asking me questions in that tone, I'm like, yeah, I messed up.
Yeah. There you go. Asking you like,
actually, we messed up. You guys got me in the dog.
Yeah. That was our bad.
Time for some delegation.
Yeah, for real, dude.
So hopefully it goes by better this week. I think it will.
Hopefully. All the frame rates are in the same, so.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
One step.
Can't be worse, right? Can't be worse.
Famous last words.
So we put Alex in the doghouse this time.
Yeesh. Yeah. Sorry, bud. Sorry.
We'll probably do it again.
Yeah. Good luck.
So my doghouse moment is kind of a longer story, but I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Last year we went on a trip to Chile to visit my mission, and we were also surfing for part of that. And to preface it a little bit, my wife suffers from severe FOMO. She always has. Like, no matter how big the surf is, like she'll go out with me. Uh, she probably gets capped out at around like 8 feet, but like that's way bigger than she should be going out in.
Which is really big.
Which is
Like,
massive for anyone that doesn't know.
Been out with me to 6 to 8 foot Rockies, and like got waves too. Like she sends it
And you and me are
she's
dying
not
out there.
to like keep up, and so
for most people don't surf, and I feel like they don't understand, like, if you jump off an 8-foot roof or something onto the ground, like, you can, it's not that bad. But you think of all the tons of weight of that water, like, crush.
Right.
Like, it's not just,
You're not just jumping off the
it's not
roof.
just the height.
It's that the roof is coming with you as you jump off of it, and it's trying to flatten you. That's what surfing
like,
is.
that's pretty dang big.
Yeah.
Me and Sam don't surf that. So.
No, dude.
yeah. So she surfs with me, and we were surfing together in Chile, and we're at this remote spot in Chile, and everything's left point breaks, and this spot in particular had a rock kind of ledge that went out, and we were watching some guys jump off of it to get into the waves, but you had to time it just right with the waves as they're coming in. And if you didn't time it right, you were like right there, going to be thrown back on the ledge. So we were standing there, and these guys paddle out and go for it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, Aubrey, just like stay right behind me and paddle hard, like when I do. And she hesitated. I jump and I go because like a lot of times what goes through my head in those situations is like I could stop and wait, but then I'm gonna get wrecked and thrown on the rocks, and then I'm not gonna be of any use to her. So it's always like save yourself and then figure out how to save them, which is not a good mentality to have in this situation.
Yeah, I think you lost her in All Wives at save yourself.
But it's just like the air, like you know what they tell you, like put your own mask on, then
Totally.
put someone else's mask on because you're going to be unconscious and you can't put anyone's mask on.
Like logically it makes sense, but
So that's like ingrained in my head in those situations. So I paddle out, get past the waves. She hesitates, then tries to go, and obviously doesn't time it right. And waves come, and she gets like pulled onto the rocks and like slides across them. And I'm waiting for the set to be done, and I'm coming towards her. And she gets so mad at this point that she like doesn't even think about her board. She just stands up on the ledge in like the danger zone while waves are coming, and she looks over at me and is flipping me off and is just saying, F you, Tyson. So at this point, all self-preservation has gone out the window, and just hot white rage and fury is spewing out of her,
she didn't give a flip about those waves.
making sure that I knew F you.
She cared more about flipping you off than her own life.
She was going to take a beating just so she could flip me off and say F you.
What a legend.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like going towards her, and I'm like taking it and just saying, get your board. Finally grab her board, and then we get out of there. And she's fine. And she actually only ended up getting like a small cut on her foot. Thick wetsuits go a long way. The board ended up being fine too, which was a rental board, so I was kind of scared that they're gonna make us pay for it, but it ended up being just fine. So we came out pretty unscathed, but
Just double burden it from the rocks.
I would have paid money to see her.
100%, dude. 100%.
oh man, the other guys in the lineup too were just like, yeah. Luckily they didn't speak English; they're all speaking Spanish. But I'm pretty sure even people speaking Spanish know what that means.
What the bird means.
Yeah, that's a universal.
In the doghouse for a solid few hours.
That's hilarious,
She
honestly.
ended up getting over it pretty quick, especially with like she didn't really have any bad cuts from it,
And the waves were good.
and the waves were really good. So,
Can't be mad. Can't be mad when the waves are good.
but went down as a solid memory.
That's awesome.
We should preface the Doghouse by saying we have great wives, and we put ourselves in the doghouse.
Oh yeah, it's on us.
Yeah.
It's always on us.
Self-preservation can put you in the doghouse.
Amen.
No preservation.
Yeah, that is too funny, man. I love that.
Man, that's good.
The next 20, do you want to do Underdog?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyson's got our new segment. They're all new segments.
They're all.
So what do we do for the Underdog? Woof, woof. Little pup?
Yeah. I don't know the puppy. I don't know. Underdog. Yeah.
Tell us what this segment is, Tyson.
Segment is a time in your life where you were the underdog in the situation and you ended up coming on top. And I want to hear about what you did to come on top and the circumstances that put you as the underdog.
I like this because we go from the doghouse where we're we're destroying ourselves, we're putting ourselves down, and then we go to the underdog where we're bringing ourselves back up.
I like it.
Now, if I just had an underdog moment.
Seriously. Do you have one?
I have one that I always think of when I think about underdog moments.
You go first. I'm going to think.
Okay. My freshman year of high school, I went to Nordhoff High School. Did you ever compete against Nordhoff?
Mm-mm. No, but I know the school. Yeah.
We lived there for like a year. And I was a pole vaulter in high school. And there's where I learned everything about pole vaulting and like got my start. And I was decently like naturally gifted at it without like doing too much because like no one grows up pole vaulting. I mean, there are some people, they're like 1 in a million, but like almost everyone starts just in high school. And I had like some gymnastics background, and so that like helped me start up and be a little bit ahead of everyone else. But coming from a small school, like I still felt like I was an underdog. And we had a meet in Ventura, at Ventura High School. And at Nordhoff too, I felt like everyone hated me. To give some context of why I feel like I was the underdog. Never in my life have I ever been in a fight, but there at Nordhoff High School, I was in 2 different fights with kids on my track team. And like I just felt like everyone hated me there. And then at this meet too, I was a freshman and I was jumping against like all these other people that had been jumping for a few years. And it was the last event of the day. And so the lights were on and no other events were going on. And the whole like track team was sitting in the stands just watching pole vaulting finish up. And the pole vaulters were going. And the bar was only at 10 feet, which isn't like anything exceptional. But it was like the beginning of the year and everything. And I was jumping against these other guys. And like, it almost seemed like something out of a movie. Like fog rolled in from Ventura and the lights were on. And like the whole team was watching and everything. So like the pressure was on. And yeah, I hit a really big PR. And something they do in pole vaulting, especially if everyone's watching, is when you start to run, everyone does like a clap, and then it gets like faster and faster as you like go up and jump. So it was a really cool moment where I cleared 10 feet for the first time, and like had everyone's clap up into it and stuff. So it's like that whole year I felt like garbage just from everything that had happened. And that was like the only highlight of that year was hitting that 10-foot jump and like beating my competitors and doing it in front of everyone. And then like everyone on the track team talked about it for like a long time. So I was an underdog.
That's sick.
What a
Did
cool
you-
memory to have.
Did you win? Like, you jumped the highest or no?
It's not about winning, Sam.
I'm
Jeez.
just curious.
Because I jumped the highest out of the freshmen.
That's sick. Yeah.
And I think the sophomores, but like there's juniors and seniors jumping way higher at that point.
Dude, that's dope.
Dang. I have another sports one.
I think you probably have tons of sports ones.
Yeah, lots of sports ones. The first one that came to mind was I was a sophomore in high school. I was in my second year of volleyball. And one of my teammates, we were on the bus talking about like colleges and stuff. And I bring up BYU, right, in Provo, Utah. And we're just talking about good colleges. We're not even talking sports or anything. And I'm like, well, I want to go to BYU. He's like, Utah, there's nothing out there. I'm like, kind of true. But like, why would you want to go to Utah? Like, there's nothing good out there, like BYU. And the first thing that I could think of is, well, they have good sports. And he's like, you want to go there for sports? I'm like, yeah, like that'd be cool to play a sport there. It's like, what sport are you gonna play? It's like, what? And we're volleyball teammates. I was like,
You were a sophomore in high school?
yeah, I was on JV. He was on varsity.
What a douche.
Yeah. He's like, what sport are you gonna play? And so that like, and I didn't say anything. I didn't rebuttal him or anything. I just kind of got quiet because that's how I was growing up, just shy, you know. And then later, when I'm a junior, I may have been a senior. One of my teammates had been, so I wasn't like a varsity since freshman type guy. I was climbed my way through the ranks. My freshman year, I was on the freshman team. Sophomore year, I was on JV, and then junior and senior year, I was on varsity. More of like the typical student athlete thing. But one of my teammates, he was a grade above me. He was a varsity all 4 years type guy. So that's big time when you're varsity as a freshman. And his dad was kind of like an assistant coach.
That's how he got there.
Probably, honestly. But he'd played club.
I don't know the guy at all.
Yeah, I just called him out so hard.
Yeah. He was decent, but he also played club. Like most guys at our school didn't play like club volleyball, you know. But his dad, when I was actually getting recruited by these schools, he was talking to my dad about like where I wanted to go to school. And he's like, oh, I think he wants to go to BYU. And BYU is a Division I men's volleyball school program. And he's just like, oh, well, aren't they Division I? And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, oh, well, don't you think he should shoot for like, you know, NAIA or JUCO or something smaller?
Oh my God.
And I think it was actually my mom. She's like, no, I think he's shooting for BYU. And so then that message getting relayed back to me, I was just like, man, like it just makes you feel small and like really.
It goes back to like, remember lying to yourself, but if you get fed lies like in the negative,
You can't do something.
Yeah. And so long story short, made it to BYU, had a great time there, and proved those haters wrong.
haters wrong.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's so sick.
Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Dude, that is a big one. Because I remember when well, at least I think. When did you just start freshman year in volleyball?
In high school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you never played volleyball before that?
Right.
Yeah, because I kind of remember, like, when you started, and maybe there was, like, a few other kids that we grew up with that were, like, kind of getting into volleyball around the time. And, yeah, and then I feel like because we didn't go to the same high school. So in my head, it was kind of just like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I've heard Alex is good at volleyball. And then, like, next thing I know, you were, like, on the BYU team. And I was like, what the F?
And we'd play volleyball in Robert's backyard.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
together and
We would just, like, goof around and stuff. And I was like, I didn't know we were taking this seriously. And then, yeah, you were playing for a flipping D1. Yeah, dude, I was stoked for you. I was like, what the freak?
You know what's funny about that is I have a vivid memory. You know how you just have these random, super specific memories?
Out of it.
No. This was in the hallway of our church building, and we were writing our like goals on this bulletin board, and I wrote one of mine as wanting to play volleyball at BYU. And I remember like putting it up there, and Sam's next to me. He like reads it. He's like, dang that dude, that'd be sick to play volleyball there. Like, that'd be super cool if you did that. I remember that.
Dude, that's crazy.
Sam probably has no memory
Nah,
of that
dude, not a
whatsoever.
single. No. That's dope, dude. I'm glad I wasn't a douche. What if I was like, you'll never do that? Like,
Just like his code.
yeah, just
like the
one
haters.
more stepping block. No, dude.
Good luck with that, Alex.
Yeah. But I think what's cool about that is I didn't see any of the behind the scenes stuff.
Mhm.
So I was just like, dude, one day you were just like playing at BYU. And I was just like, what the heck? And then I feel like just recently you showed me videos of like you and your dad practicing like early mornings,
Oh yeah, and the
like at the
church
church.
gym.
And I was like, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
That's
or the
like,
clips in the backyard.
yeah. Oh yeah, just like
Yeah.
working on hitting and stuff
Uh-huh.
on that little like Jimmy rigged
Yeah.
ball
You never know
holder.
how much time people put into stuff, you know?
I think it's a big part of underdog stories is like nobody sees the work you put in, so they underestimate or they think you can't do something. But like putting in the work behind the scenes is like what makes the
Yeah.
magic happen.
It's like surfing, where I think we're all jealous of Tyson's surfing ability, but the reality is he's just done it way more than
I
us.
hate you.
More of the reality is I'm not very good.
Well, don't say that because
Just
we're
makes us look really
several steps down. Oh man, dude, I don't have a great one. The only thing that can come to mind is high school sports as well. And yeah, I don't know if I necessarily have as much of a triumphant thing as you guys, but in a nutshell, I started. Well, this is kind of funny. So, I played soccer for like 9 years, like a long time, like from when I was really little in AYSO up until like 6th or maybe 7th grade. A long time, forever, right? Like everybody just played soccer, and I loved it, and I really enjoyed it, and I was gonna play it in high school, and then my pessimistic father sits me down, and he was like, "Listen, Sam, you're not very good at soccer. Maybe you should find a sport that you're good at."
Dude.
So mean, but ultimately very true.
But like he should have said that like 6 years ago.
Yeah, I was like, "What the crap?" Like, I think it's because
Like, why didn't you put me in something else earlier in life
he
then?
was like, "Look, I gave you 9 years to get better, and you haven't." No, I'm just kidding. No, the thing is, I had tried other sports. I tried basketball for one season, and I don't think I scored a single basket the entire season. And I was shooting.
No, never.
Me and Sam have a very similar story.
Dang.
Were you trash too? You're
Dude.
bad at basketball?
I think I told you this. So Eschenberg, we're on the same team, and Zach, had like tons of points, and his dad was the coach. So at the end of the season, his dad like kept track of all the points everyone made. And seriously, it was like final judgment day. Sat us all down and like went through like all of our stats for each of us.
That's so effed up, dude.
So messed up. And so Zach obviously like was probably close to like 1,000 points, and then went down from there. And then it got to me, and he was like, 4 points. But then there's another kid that only had 2 points.
You're like, what a loser. Just
That
call
kid
it.
sucks.
Yeah.
I had double his points.
Just like on the other side.
But seriously, the gap though was like, it was like Zach near 1,000. Then like most of the kids were like close in the hundreds, and then all of a sudden it was just 4 and 2. Like,
Dude, I remember I have like one experience with basketball, and it was in an elementary school. We had like this tournament thing, and they split us up on the teams, and this whole game, all I was trying to do was get the ball and like shoot it. Just never scored ever. And so then
you kept taking shots.
yeah, I just kept taking shots. They were all like layups too. I'm like a little kid, so you have to like push it, but yeah, dude, basketball was not my thing.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And it turned out soccer wasn't my thing either, because kind of similar to what Tyson said, I had a season which was like I was getting older, so people were like getting better at soccer, but I wasn't. So I think I went a whole season where I didn't score like a single goal, and I was probably like a forward, like I was the guy that should have been scoring, and I wasn't. I was just like not getting good. Yeah, I don't know. So my dad sat me down. He was like, "Look, you're not good. You got to pick something else." And looking back, it was really, I'm eternally grateful for his honesty, because he's like, "Look, let's find you something that you're good at." So I started trying out water polo, and I started doing club in like 6th or 7th grade, and so I played club, and so then when I started in high school, I was just kind of automatically a little bit better than most of the guys my age, because I had done like 3 years of club, and so much of water polo is being a strong swimmer. That's like 80% of it. Like if you're not a strong swimmer, you can't play the game. You can't play the sport. and then everything after that. So I had a step up on everybody, like swimming wise, and then so I had extra time to like refine the craft because water polo is also a very technical game. Like it's a lot of like analyzing. 'Cause it's kind of a slower. It's not like super fast pace, so it's a lot of like technical stuff. Yeah. Anyway, point being, same thing as Alex. I wasn't like varsity freshman year. I started off on like the frosh off, and then went up to JV, and then I think I hit varsity like my junior year, and then played junior and senior. And I was pretty scrawny, still am, but was pretty scrawny in high school, so I was never a very like hard shooter. I wasn't like the fastest, um, but I feel like I really understood the game. But you don't super get recognized for understanding the game and like making plays, but not being the one like hammering the ball into the net or anything, because that was never really me. Yeah, I was always like a very defensive player and like quick on like turnarounds and stuff, which again, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Anyway, point being, yeah. And so all through high school, I felt like, I felt like I was really good, but same thing, like when they would go over stats at the end of the game, I was never high up there. Anyway, point being, we get to the last like awards night, senior year. I'm done with my water polo career. This is it. And we were in a Division 1, which was crazy. We weren't like the best team by far. We were like on the lower scale because we had some really good teams, but for high school, we were in a D1, which was really good. And at the end of the year, we went through the awards, and they would announce, all the coaches would get together and they would pull certain players from every high school, and they would make like a little like first, second team, which didn't mean anything, but it did mean a lot in the moment. Anyway, point being, at the very end of the year, after feeling like not super appreciated, I was the only one on my team when they announced it. They announced mine last, and I got like defensive player of the league. And yeah, and then I made first team all Marmonti, which is what it was called. And I was the only one on the team that got it. And it was because of defensive and like strategy that they put me on there. And I was like,
It's like, oh, people saw what I was doing.
And I didn't,
Okay.
I didn't know about it until like literally that night. And I was just like, oh shit. Like I did it. Like,
Dude, yeah,
like it wasn't all for nothing. Like I put in a lot of effort and it wasn't all for nothing. So that was a cool moment for me.
that's sick. It's like offensive linemen in football. They do so much, and no one knows their names. No one knows like anything about them.
Well,
Cool.
we wrap it up. I think you guys' camera's about to turn off. Yeah.
Yeah. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on YouTube.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.